Anybody from the class like to share something? How are you all feeling? If I can come back maybe in a week and a half to see how is it going and to get some input from the students
Yeah,
about
that'd
what
be
we can
great.
do to better support our teachers and your learning students. Any comments? Anybody make a comment on the first day of school? You're
You
like,
can
come on,
unmute.
it's
You
our
can
first
unmute
day
yourself.
together. We just came together.
You can unmute yourself. Oh, maybe they have it in the chat. You can put a comment in the chat too if you'd rather.
Oh, that's right. I forget about that.
Well, I think sometimes people feel more comfortable doing that.
Yeah, well, it's the first time you're meeting with this class, correct, this school year.
Yes, I do have some other classes where I have the students that I had last year. So we've had some nice opportunities to catch up and visit a little bit with our quarantine tips and our current obsessions. In this class, we're going to do the same, but it's a little different. They're meeting me for the first time and I'm meeting them for the first time. So.
And then I'm saying, okay, ask your questions. So I
Yeah.
apologize, but maybe I can join in about a week or maybe 2 weeks and just hear how's it going and what can we
That'd be
learn from
great.
our students and their experiences as we move forward, because we know we're going to be like this minimally for 4 weeks, possibly 8 weeks, and maybe even longer depending on what happens.
Right.
So I'll close out and let you build the community with your wonderful class. And I'm just going to remind you all, students, please be advocates, wear your mask, social distance, wash the hands frequently. Please do that everywhere you go. And one last thing, if your parents haven't submitted the census, make sure that you count, that your family counts. We need everybody to submit the census. All right, Mrs. Ramos, thank you for letting me join. And
Thank
I
you
look
for
forward
joining.
to again this period in about 2 weeks.
One of the students did say in the chat that they're happy that we get to continue our education even though we're going through a pandemic. So
very good. Francis, thank you for that. I'm very happy too. I can see you right now. I'm very happy that you've got great teachers. And you know, Mrs. Ramos is just spectacular. She has blogs and all these things that sometimes I get lost on, but she serves as an inspiration for us. Okay. It'd be great.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye. I leave, right? Okay.
Well, that was a nice surprise. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. You should be able to find a document that looks like this in the classroom. Is there anybody who's having trouble getting that? Because we're going to work off this document today. Well, let me introduce myself first and welcome you all. I just found out a little bit earlier today that Dr. Canales wanted to join us. She really wants to see what it's like for the students in our virtual learning space and for the teachers. She wants to make sure that she touches base and make sure that things are going well. And I think that's a good thing. So I invited her into our class a little bit. I'm Mrs. Ramos. This is AP English 4. So hopefully you are in the right place. On this document, you'll see, you'll get one of these each week. I've decided that that would probably be the easiest thing. I know that every teacher's probably giving you a different thing, different structure, different organization. So I tried to keep it simple so that, you know, any questions that you might have, there's an easy way for you to contact me. There's a list of the things that you need to work on just for this week and so on. So there'll be a new list like this each week. And when we meet on Mondays, we'll go over them. And I have a Monday agenda right here so that we can talk through some major things that are important as we're starting out. There's also a section over here on links, which I'll go into a little bit more, but I am recording the class videos and I'm putting them on YouTube in a private playlist so that only the class can access them. But if you need to go back and watch something from class, they should be there by the end of the day. So every time we have a synchronous class period, we'll go ahead and I'll put the video on there so that you can check it out later if you need to, or if you're unable to make it to the synchronous meeting, you can then go and watch what happened in class and get up to speed that way. The tasks are here, and at the bottom is information about the next synchronous class that we'll be meeting and how to contact me. So let's focus up here on the Monday agenda. I do want to make a couple of announcements. There is some information that the district has been sharing on their website and also on their Twitter. So if you're not following the district or the campus, then I'll share this with you. There's 3 different things that they've been sharing. And one is that there is a helpline that's going to be available. I think it already is available on the district website. If you've got younger brothers and sisters, or if you know somebody, if you have nieces and nephews in the district, and people are struggling to try to help those kids with the online learning, then you can guide them here to the helplines, and they can get questions answered and that sort of thing there. I mean, I think we think most high school students are going to be able to navigate things for themselves, but the little ones, not so much, right? Also, if you know anybody who's having trouble with logging onto their Google Classroom, maybe some of you figured this out, maybe you didn't, but maybe you already got in, but there is a way to fix your password. They went ahead and changed all the passwords super conveniently last week or the week before, and gave everybody new password sign-ins. So this is how you access that if you needed to share that with somebody. I think it's putting a P before your student ID for your password. And then I think does it prompt you to make a new password at that point? Did anybody go through that process? You're just able to sign in? Okay. The last thing is that they are continuing the meals, the grab and go meals, starting today. So anybody who needs to have one of those meals, they're at the elementary schools. And so they're available. There's a letter that people have received, and they can use that to get the meals there. That's still ongoing. So if you want to pick up meals, if you know somebody who could benefit from that, then those are available for you. So those are the announcements. If we go back to our page here, I thought maybe I would take, before I talked about the course, I thought maybe I would take a little bit of time to talk about the schedule. I sent this out last week, I think Thursday or Friday, in the Google Classroom. I made this schedule because the way that they presented the schedule to us was a little bit confusing, and I needed to know, when do I need to be on camera, right? When do I need to be in a meeting? And so I made this schedule for myself, and I thought I would share it with you. Do you want me to talk a little bit about how these different days are working? Would that be helpful to you? Or did you get enough from your other teachers about that?
Could you please explain?
Sure. So the way that it works is Mondays and Tuesdays are synchronous. That means that you're expected to be live on camera with your teachers. So they've set that up. It's different from the spring because that was kind of random, whatever teachers were doing that. But now we have a schedule. So your class periods have certain times that they are meeting throughout the week or through these 2 days. So this class period, for example, starts at 1:15. I'm pretty sure you all figured that out because here you are. And so Mondays are always A days. That's not going to be alternating like we normally would if we were day-to-day, face-to-face instruction. They did shorten the class period, so we have about an hour and 15 minutes with each class, and then there's about a 15-minute overlay time so that you can, reset, get yourself set up for your next class period, what have you. And then the classes end earlier in the day at 2:45. And the reason for that is because they wanted to set up this teacher support time after school from 2:45 until 4 every day of the week. You can see that goes all the way across. So what that means is that from 2:45 until 4, all your teachers are available to help you if you have questions. We understand that it's not the same situation as a class when you can just raise your hand and ask a question. You can, but it seems like people are a little shy on the Zoom call to do that. So you can also just meet up with your instructors at this time from 2:45 until 4. We are all waiting for that. It's not like you're interrupting us. It's not like we're busy doing something else. We know that that time is set aside for meeting with students, helping them if they have questions, etc., every day of the week. So say after today, I go over the assignments for the week, and later on in the week, you're working on them, but something is, confusing, or you want to verify something with me. I'm going to show you how you can communicate with me, but we can get on a Zoom call, or I can just communicate with you. I'm going to give you my Google Voice number. so that you can just text me. Also, I answer emails pretty regularly. So this last part of the day, every day, is designed for that, and we're all available. Tuesday's the same thing except for B days, same exact schedule. So you run through your B schedule on that day. Now, the rest of the days of the week, you will probably not be meeting with your class. Wednesday and Thursday are called asynchronous days, and that means that you're working on your own. So now that you've had your meeting with your teacher on Monday and Tuesday, now's the time for you to, use your time management and work through the assignments that you have for the week. I think what they're thinking is that you're going to sign on at 8 in the morning and work on your 1A stuff on Wednesday. And then you're going to switch over, and at 9:30, you're going to switch to your 2A stuff. I don't personally think that's how it's going to work. But they did set it up so that at the last half an hour of each class period, we're available in addition to after school. I think what's going to happen is people are going to wake up at whatever time, reasonable time on these days, and work on their own schedule is what I think is going to happen. But I don't know, we'll see. Either way, when you're working on these asynchronous days, there's still that time after school to get that one-on-one help from 2:45 to 4. Or like me, I'll answer, as long as I'm not live teaching or in a meeting, I'll answer those Google Voice messages whenever you message me, and I'll share the number with you before we go today. Questions on synchronous and asynchronous days? Asynchronous just means you don't have to be anywhere with anybody at that point in time. Friday is an alternating day. So this week, for example, is an A week. So we have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as A days. Next week, it will be a B week. So the Friday will alternate to a B day. So on those days, the teacher has the option to either hold a synchronous class or asynchronous class. And that's individual by teacher, but they should let you know on the Monday or Tuesday, or like in general, every Friday that we're meeting. I think most teachers, just in my discussions with different teachers, most teachers are sort of going with, well, if there's a topic this week that we need to have extra time, I'll offer it to the students and I'll say, hey, if you need more time with, writing the research paper or whatever, we'll have a synchronous time on Friday if you want to come. So there's like a workshop or like a seminar type thing. That's how I'm thinking of it. But I think most times for me, that Friday will be another asynchronous day. So just depending on the class in that case. Now that day alternates between A and B. That's the only thing on Friday. So hopefully I explained that for you. Are there any questions? Is there anything that's confusing about that? You can type it in the chat or you can unmute yourself and ask me. No? Okay. I think I shared that on the Google. So if you wanted to have that copy, you can, in the classroom, you can go ahead and download a copy for yourself if you like, or screenshot. Let's talk a little bit about the course. I'm not going to go through the syllabus and take the time. We don't have a lot of time together in the week, and so I'm not going to go through the syllabus. I made a video tour of the syllabus that I'm going to have you watch this week. But I do want to talk about the course because English 4 AP is a advanced level course, and I want to make sure that you know that there are advanced level expectations. I have a cuckoo clock. I don't know if you heard that. There are advanced level expectations for this course. Also, there's added weight to this course for ranking, for your GPA that's used for ranking. So all those things you have to take into consideration when you think about homework, when you think about assignments, reading. We'll be doing a lot of reading in this class. Last year, if you took English 3 AP, or if you took the On-Ramps English 3, it was focused more on argument. You read articles and you wrote persuasive and research type papers. This class is different because it's based in literature, imaginative literature, poetry, novels, drama, short fiction. So it's a totally different material that we'll be reading. So it's expected that you'll take the AP exam in May, and we'll talk a little bit about that more as we go, but we're preparing to take that test and earn college credit for passing that test. That's the only part I really wanted to talk about today. The rest of the syllabus is available for you. Actually, I made an assignment for you. People are coming in. I made an assignment for you this week, if we go back to that page, where you'll be looking at the course syllabus, and there's a link right here on item 3, and I made a video tour of it so that I'm walking you through the syllabus, kind of like what I would do in class if I took the time to do that. But I like to finish on time or early so that you have more time between your classes. So I went ahead and made that video to help you all out. Are there any questions about the course that you have in general? I think the syllabus will explain a lot, and next time we meet, I'll also ask you if there are any questions over the syllabus, so we can touch base on that later. If when you read through the syllabus, something doesn't make sense, then we can definitely talk about it together next time. The next topic over here in the agenda is the summer assignment. That one is due today. There's an assignment in the Google Classroom for you to upload. Either if you have a doc, you can just submit it to that assignment. If you did your summer assignment handwritten, then you just need to take a very clear picture of it. Make sure it's cropped, make sure it's zoomed in, it's not from across the room. I'm getting old, I have to wear these glasses, so help me out a little bit. But that one's due today. You should have been working on this book, How to Read Literature Like a Professor, which has a lot of really good and interesting techniques for reading, the types of things that we'll be doing this year. So you should have made a document that's sort of a study guide, and that's what you need to submit today on the Google Classroom. There's already an assignment there. If you go to the classwork tab under assignments, there it is at the top. So right here, the summer assignment, this is where you will submit it. All right. Questions on the summer? I also provided a rubric for you in the Google Classroom that we had for the summer, which is how I'll be grading that summer assignment. So hopefully you had a chance to look at that back when we posted it in May. But this is how I'll be using, I'll be scoring your summer assignment. It will count as a major grade for the 6 weeks. I did offer extra credit every month over the summer. We went ahead. Mrs. Salinas teaches the other AP section, and we went ahead and made some extra credit assignments so that you could, add a couple points per 6 weeks. So there were 3 different extra credit opportunities over the summer. Hopefully you took advantage of those. I don't really give extra credit during the school year. It just doesn't really happen. So the summer was pretty much the one. If you did that, then they'll be applied to the different 6 weeks. So that one's due today. All right, we're gonna do a little activity before I get to the task for this week and sign off. So if you click right here where it says about me, does everybody have this document? If not, I can put the link in the chat. Is there anybody who needs the link?
Yes, please.
All right, I'll put it in the chat. So this link is a little opportunity for you on a Padlet to kind of tell a little bit about yourself. I'm not going to make you do a presentation. I don't really like those. Like the first day, that seems like a pretty cruel thing to do. I wouldn't like it if somebody did that to me. But I would like to start learning about you so that I can be helpful to you as your teacher. So when you get to this page, you'll see that there's some directions and there's also an example. I put an example over here. So what I want you to do is start your own tile. We'll take maybe 10 or 15 minutes to do this right now. You can click the plus button that's down here in the lower right-hand corner and put your name on your tile. And for each one of you, I'd like for you to list 4 things on your tile. 1, what's your quarantine survival tip? For me, it was have a daily routine. Whenever I didn't have a daily routine, I was just on the couch like 100% of the time. So I had to have a daily routine. Also add 1 current obsession. What's something that you're obsessed with? Keep it clean. 1 important item that you own, and 1 future goal. So you can see I put mine over here. My obsession right now is making cobbler. I put a picture of my blackberry raspberry cobbler that I made last week right there. Good thing you already had lunch, or you'd be really hungry right now looking at that picture probably, right? One of my important items is my mom's wedding ring. I took a little GIF and put it there. And my future goal, I'm in a different place in my life than you, obviously, but my goal is to retire from teaching high school and teach college online. So why don't you take a few minutes and get started putting in your tile. You can click here. It could show up anywhere, so make sure that you scroll around a little bit on the screen to find where your tile popped up. And then you can customize it. So when you're working on one, if you click on the 3 little dots there, you can change the background color, etc. You can also add images. So when I go to edit, you can see I can upload a picture right here. I'll tell you right now, if you talk about your puppy, your dog, your kitty, your horse, your bunny, it's going to be a requirement for you to put a picture of that pet on there because everybody wants to see it. So why don't you work on that for a little bit, and I'll keep admitting people into the session. And we should start to see some of those tiles populating. If you're just joining us, you should be able to find this document in the Google Classroom. Right now we're working on the About Me activity. So if you click there, you should be taken to our space. They're gonna pile up a little bit, so make sure that if you're behind somebody else's that you kind of just drag your tile around there. Read a book, I like that one already. Francis, did you get a pet over quarantine?
Yes, I got 2 actually.
2? What kind of pets did you get?
I got, well, my parents bought me a Chihuahua, and then my dad's coworker gave him a Chihuahua pug because they didn't want her after all.
So are the 2 dogs friendly?
I can show them to you right now if you want.
Yeah, of course we want to see them.
Oh, there you go.
They hang out by you?
They're right here.
Aww, how cute. Are they friends?
Yeah, for the most part, when they're not fighting.
Oh, so only friends sometimes.
Yeah, except when he gets on her nerves, then she'll attack.
Well, I can't say I'm not the same way. They're cute. Oh, exercise, right? Oh, I don't really like it. I do exercise, but I don't really like it. Kimberly, that's a good tip. Get your chores done early, and then the rest of the day is for you. Hopefully your mom doesn't make you do more chores. My mom was always like, oh, you finished those chores? Here's some more chores. You can add emojis if you want. Make sure that if it just says anonymous that you put your name in at the top. I used to have an account that for Padlet that I had, but they only let me have 7 Padlets. So I use the one that STC gives me. I'm an instructor for STC. So now I use that one, it's unlimited. But I think if you don't have an STC account, it's just kind of letting you play as an anonymous. So type your name in there when you get a chance. You can play around with the highlights and the colors for your backgrounds. Gabriella, redecorating. Wow, that's a big endeavor. How did it go?
It's pretty good right now. I just need to get
Yeah?
everything.
Are you happy with how it turned out?
Yeah.
You can do like one of those home TV shows, right? Where they're renovating, how to renovate your room.
Yeah.
Mr. Ramos,
Yeah,
are you familiar with Zoom?
yes.
Can you help my brother out real quick? He's trying to go into a meeting, but it won't let him.
Is he under the age of 16?
Yes.
So we're having trouble with the Zoom program for kids that are under 16. He can ask his instructor if there's a code for the meeting and try to get in that way.
I tried the code and the link,
He said he tried the code and the link, but it didn't work.
and I checked the one she
Okay.
sent me.
Try to email your teacher.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they're having trouble with that. They told us all to put this one security element on, and then it turns out that the only people that can get through the security are 16 and older. So, you know. Renee, why is your bracelet important to you? I see you put a picture there of it too.
I prefer not to speak about it. It's a little too personal.
Okay. I don't know why you'd put it on a big old board with everybody else if it wasn't something that you wanted to share.
No, the picture's fine, but the meaning is not fine.
How do you do that to go?
How do you do what?
How do you go to that the link there where you're doing?
On the Google Classroom, you should have this document that we've been going through.
Mhm.
We're on this item right here, About Me. If you click on that, it should take you to the Padlet that we're working on.
Oh, I got it.
Natalia, you have plants in your room. What kind of plants do you have?
Cactus, like cacti.
Yeah, I have a ton of succulents.
Yeah.
You can get addicted to succulents real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Important item, my cats. Victoria, we need cat pictures. Once you're finished with your tile, you can go ahead and look at your classmates' tiles. There's a spot where you can like them and comment. If you have something in common with somebody, you can make a comment. See a lot of people who have their phone as their important item. I think that's pretty common nowadays, especially it's our link to the outside world, right? And online shopping. Right now, Mr. Ramos doesn't like all my online shopping. That's okay. I'm gonna move some of these around a little bit so that they can all show. It will scroll to the right and the left also, so that you're not stuck behind somebody. You want to be able to see everybody there. Oh, golly, you're doing baking too over the quarantine, over the summer? Baking brownies and TikTok.
Yes.
I had to join TikTok because I have a 12-year-old niece. So I had to join that one, and also Snapchat. She sends me a picture every day. We have the Snap Streaks.
My little sister, she does that too. She just got Snapchat, and now she'll Snapchat me every day.
Aw, that's cute. It's kind of a good way to keep in touch. My niece and nephew are up in Detroit. I'm originally from Detroit, so it's kind of nice to keep in touch with them that way. I don't get to see them very often. Seeing a lot of college goals. That's great. Frog necklace. It's not real frogs, is it, Haley?
No.
Good. You never know. Chonky, that's a new word. Chonky. It's like a variation of chunky, but even more chunky, right? Take some time to go and like some of your classmates. Oh, look, there's a pug. How cute. I like how their heads are a little bit wrinkly. Miranda, she's so cute. That pug. Take some time to go around and look at everybody's post. Maybe you have something in common. Maybe somebody that you've known for a long time has a obsession that you didn't know about. Wish I could double like the pug and the brownies. Grey's Anatomy. I couldn't get into it. Mr. almost watched it because some students made him, and then he stopped watching it. I don't know. I know a lot of people who really like it though. An NFL dietitian. Wow, that's really specific. That's good. Specific goals help us, right? Japan, traveling to Japan, that's cool. Have to wait a little while, but that's what goals are for, right? All right, take another couple minutes to finish up your tile and look through your classmates' tiles. Miguel, you got a job over quarantine? What's your job?
Yeah. Um, I went to Oklahoma with my brother because he's in the military.
Mm.
So I went to work out with him during the whole summer, and I got a job at Charlie's.
Oh, over there.
Yeah.
That's good. Make a little money.
Yeah.
That's good. Seven. All right, this helps me get a little feel for the class and, people's goals. Obviously, seniors, we're going to be working on some of your college admissions essay type things, all the things that overlap with English class. So I'll help you with those things pretty soon. Most college applications are due in November or December, so. Oh, bucket hat. Oh, I bet that goes here. You can connect these.
That was supposed to be on my post, but I don't know how to add it.
Okay, so the way to, if you can only put one picture. So the way to join them, so the way to join them is if you click the 3 dots right there, you can choose connect to a post, and then it will ask you which one do you want to connect it to.
Okay.
I think it's this one, but I'll let you do it. That's how I did mine, because I had 2 pictures that I wanted to put. Graduate in the top 25, that's good. Future goals, stop procrastinating. Oh, it was so easy to procrastinate during the summer because you can just say, well, tomorrow's another day just like today. Law school, okay, good. I'm moving some things around so that there's more space. All right, I want to go back up to the document here. So if you're finishing up, take a couple minutes and finish up your tile. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about what you need to do this week and when we'll be meeting up and how you can contact me. I feel like the first day isn't the day to do everything, so I just want to get a little bit of, this is what the class is about, this is who we are, and this is what we need to do this week. So when you finish with your tile there, come on over to this page again. I want to talk to you about the assignments for this week. I put all of the tasks for this week in the middle of this sheet, and I'll do it this way for all the weeks that we have, as long as we're going to be doing this quarantine thing. If you came in late, you missed Dr. Canales, our superintendent, came into our meeting to meet with us and talk a little bit about with the students and so on. So we don't know if this is going to be continuing just until the end of September. Right now, that's what we're going with, but it could be another 4 weeks after that, depending on the situation. So as long as we have this virtual, 100% virtual situation, then we'll be following the same schedule, and I'll be giving you one of these plan sheets per week. When we go to hybrid, assuming that that happens, and some people are coming to campus, then they're going to be changing the schedule. So things will change whenever that occurs. But until then, we're going to follow this schedule, and we're going to do everything online. So the first thing I want to point out is I have to do an attendance assignment every day. If you've been in other classes today, you know that probably all the teachers are talking about how you have to do something for every day that a class exists. So on A days, for me, whether we meet synchronously or asynchronously, you need to do a formative. I know each teacher probably does something different, so I'll remind you for a little while here. But if you click right here on formative, I want to make sure everybody's all set up and they can access that. This is the code. Let me go to this here. I'll copy it into the chat for you. Formative is a website where I can ask you a question and you can respond to it. So I will put you can click on the link there, and then in the chat, I will put the code for this class. So this is what formative looks like. When you go into formative, it'll look a little different. Mine's for all these different classes, but it will take you to a day. The day will post on at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then it will disappear at 11:55 that night. So sometime in that window, you will need to go in and do your question. I'm required to mark you absent if you do not do the question. So make sure that on A days, like on Wednesday, we're not going to be having a Zoom meeting. So you'll have to remember to go in and answer the formative question that's going to post at 8 in the morning on Wednesday. It has to close before the end of the day, and there's no way to gain that back. So I know you're probably getting a lot of Google Classroom notifications, but I think I'll remind you on Wednesday and Friday this week, just so that you can get into the hang of it. But I also put it here on the document so that you'll remember to sign in on those days. So there's a question there. The one for today looks like this. It has to do with your summer reading assignment. You should have read this book, How to Read Literature Like a Professor, and your assignment for that, I think more than half of you had already turned it in, but that one's due today, the assignment. My question is, which chapter in How to Read Literature Like a Professor was most significant to you? Which one gave you the most insight? So then you go here and you put in your answer. I think yours looks a little different than mine, but there should be a spot for you to put in your answer. I'm thinking, a short paragraph would be good for that. At 11:55, that question will no longer be available, but on Wednesday, a new question will pop up and you'll work on that one. So as long as you get that done by the end of the day today, that's how formative works. Are there any questions about formative? Anybody having trouble getting in there? I can help you. No? Okay, I also put a reminder here on number 2 about the summer assignment. So if you've already turned that in, then you're done with that. Now, for next class period, there are some things that you need to take care of during your asynchronous time. So the first one is the syllabus. I only went through the course description today very briefly, but you need to read the syllabus so that you know the policies on late work and all those sorts of things. I did make a video tour of the syllabus. So while you're looking at the syllabus, you can click it here and get the document. And you can click it here and get the little video. I think it's maybe 8 or 9 minutes of me going through the syllabus with you. I didn't want to take time away from our live time that we had today to do that when that's something that you can do on your own. So do make sure that you're familiar with the course syllabus. We have a textbook. It looks like this. They're brand new. I'll show you on the screen. It's going to be in reverse, but you can see it looks like this. They just got to the warehouse, but we also have online capability. So I'm assuming that most of you would prefer to use the online book. They haven't sorted all that out in technology yet. They will, I think, in the next week or two. In the meantime, I made a PDF of chapter 1 for you so that you can do all of your assignments because you're not gonna be able to access the book any other way. So you can click here and you'll see that I set you up with a walkthrough of your chapter 1 assignment. So your job is to read chapter 1 in the book, which is really kind of like a preparing to participate in AP English chapter. And you just can click through. Here's where you'll find the PDF. I also put that PDF in a couple of other places. But if you go through this slideshow, it will walk you through all of the assignments that you have from chapter 1. Oh, that's going to open the PDF of the book. So here's the PDF that I made of chapter 1, just so that you would be able to access your assignment. You can see that you can scroll through that when it comes time to do the assignment. So this is the main page of the assignment. You need to read and take notes on these pages. I put the PDF here again so that it'd be handy for you. And then with this assignment, you are not turning in these questions, but you'll know that you read the chapter well enough if you can answer these questions. Does that make sense? So you can check and make sure that you're understanding what you're reading by asking yourself these questions. And then you should be ready to discuss them. If you have trouble answering these questions, but you've read the chapter, then you probably didn't read the chapter with enough attention or thoroughly enough. So that's your first step. So that you can read through these directions when you're working. Then there's an assignment. It looks like this. It's in the Google Classroom. So once you're finished with your reading and you feel comfortable that you have mastered the material, then you can work on the assignment, and that one's due in the Google Classroom. We'll mainly be using Google Classroom for this class. All right, so that's number 4. That assignment that I just showed you is number 5 here with the boxes on it from chapter 1. And the last thing that you need to do is a little bit of reading. There's a passage that you need to read to prepare for class next week. And I've given you some directions about that. You can open it. It's another PDF from chapter 2. There's a selection that you need to read ahead of time right here and a little bit more on the next page so that you are ready for discussion when we come together next time. There are some questions here. You should be familiar with those questions. Make sure that you can answer them. You don't have to write them out, but make sure that you can answer them because I'll probably call on you to answer those questions. It's not going to be acceptable to say I don't know the answer to that question because it's part of your assignment to think them through. You can write them out if you want to, but I'm not going to be collecting them. All right, those are the tasks for this week. There's one little problem, and that is that, I don't know if you know, but next Monday is a staff development day. It's not a school day. So I will be in meetings, but you will not be in class. So next Monday is not a synchronous day. The synchronous day will be on Wednesday next week. And you can see I put that here at the bottom. So we're just going to swap out Wednesday for Monday so that we can still have some time. So these assignments down here need to be ready by next class, which is a week from tomorrow. Does that make sense? Okay. I put the time in here. I put the date of our next meeting. So if you get confused, but I'll probably give you updates and reminders on Google Classroom. I'll try not to do that too much because I know you're getting that for a lot of classes. If it gets to be too much, just send me a quick email and say, we got it. You're sending us too much stuff. I don't know what you're getting from the other end. So I want to make sure that you don't miss anything. My Google Voice number is here. So you might want to jot that down or somehow make it available. Well, you can access this document again later, but that is the number where it's not my cell phone number, but it's my Google Voice that the school district gives me, but it works just like a phone number. So you can text me. If you text me for the first time, make sure you tell me who you are so that I don't have to be guessing. And if you have a quick question, feel free to do that. If you, if we're working on something and you need to show me, is this the way you want this? We'll probably, share a document or go on Zoom real quick in my office hours or something like that. But you can also communicate with me through email. I'm pretty good at responding to emails, that sort of thing. So both of my contact things are here. Remember that I'm available every day from 2:45 until 4. So that's a good time to catch me with the Google Voice or by email. And we can hop on Zoom if it's more of a discussion-based thing that you're not sure about something or you have a question. I'll be glad to spend the time this week helping to make sure you're comfortable with your material. Are there any questions? No?
I have a question.
Okay.